Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday, the 5th of June 2024. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this: the latest update on the Japhet Tanganga scenario. He's been released by Tottenham Hotspurs. Millwall transfer target released by Spurs. Millwall summer transfer target Japhet Tanganga is now a free agent after being released by Premier League side Tottenham Hotspur. The 25-year-old was set to be out of contract this summer. However, Spurs did have the option to sign the defender for another season. But the South London Press, the London News Online.co.uk, understands Spurs would have been obligated to increase Tanganga's salary if they had extended his previous deal for an additional 12 months. So it wasn't a cut and dry, as that just given him another year, it would have been a pay increase as well. Okay, that's the first time we're hearing that. The Lions agreed a fee with Premier League side Tottenham in early May and have been looking to secure services permanently ahead of the 24-25 season. Tanganga made 18 appearances on loan at the Den in the second half of last season. He spent the first half of the campaign on loan with the German side Augsburg, but failed to make a single appearance. The former England under-21 international made 50 appearances in total for Tottenham. So there you go. What does this mean? I don't think it's good news. But let's have a little read of other stuff. So they put this up on their Twitter, did Tottenham. They made a graphic for it and everything. He's been there a while. I think he was there since he's been there since he's 8 years old. This is a big thing to do to leave the club. Thank you, Japhet Tanganga. There you go. And from their website as well, from TottenhamHotspur.com. Player update. They've released they've published their release list, and central defender Japhet is a product of our academy system and enjoyed his breakthrough campaign at first team level with us in 2019-20, memorably making his Premier League debut from the start against Liverpool in January of that season. Japhet went on to make 50 senior competitive appearances in our colours before embarking on loan spells at Augsburg in Germany and latterly Millwall during the recently concluded campaign. So there you go. Serious stuff there. Why do I think this is bad for us? We agreed a fee with Tottenham to... What did we agree the fee for? Now, silver lining, you can maybe hope that we agreed the fee with them to not extend his contract. So so technically they let him go because his contract was about to run out. But we agreed the fee with them, maybe so they didn't trigger that clause, and then he's going to come to us. But what are the chances of that happening? I don't think so. I think he's just gone to the market to try and get the highest bidder, and he's probably gone to Tottenham and said, look, I want to go and play football. I had a decent second half of the season. I want to play. If I'm not going to play here, let me go. Don't resign me for another season. What's the point in that? Because he's 25 years old. He's 25. He's got 5 years left in his career, if he's lucky. And that's going to be gone in the blink of an eye. He needs to get moving. You need to get moving. So, yeah, I don't know. Wait and see. But in my opinion, it doesn't look good. Now, I showed you this yesterday, and what are the odds? Because as soon as I do that, then this morning, earlier today, we've got a whole host of other clubs, especially the ones in London that I was talking about yesterday, have put out their releases. So we've got the full list from Bournemouth, and you may notice there Jamal Lowe, remember him, player that we've been linked with about 25 times. We've got, what else have we got? We've got the full list from Crystal Palace, mostly youth players there. We've got Fulham. We've got the Fulham list up. We have and Tottenham and West Ham. So all on the same day, and Wolves as well. They all came out and published their released players lists. And still no Cardiff. Cardiff haven't come out yet. I don't know what the hell's going on there. No Leeds, no Leicester. Southampton have put out a list, but other than that, it's all done and dusted. So there you go. And so Spurs have released Japhet Tanganga, and it, like I said, it looks like we unless there's some genius masterstroke where we paid Spurs a fee to not, they were going to trigger his contract, and we said no, don't, but then he's technically a free agent unless he signed a pre-contract agreement. He doesn't have to sign with us, then he can just sign for anyone. Then is this another one of the deals that we fucked up where we're paying Spurs for nothing? But I think it's just he's obviously, like I said, he's 25 years old. He needs to get the best deal that he can get, and that's probably not going to be at Millwall in terms of money, but in terms of success, being well regarded and being playing week in, week out, and being one of the best players on the pitch. But you'll get that at Millwall. Will he get that elsewhere? Depends where he goes, isn't it? Now, we spoke yesterday about Neil Harris's back in work. He came back in after his holiday. The players come back in 3 more weeks, but Neil Harris is back working on friendlies, and we do have friendly news. We have a first team friendly game arranged. If you don't know what it is, have a guess now. No, try again. Yep, that was it. You got it. So this is from the southernnews.co.uk. Lions line up European training camp. Yes. Millwall set to hit the continent later this summer as part of their pre-season build-up. The Lions have already announced friendly fixtures at Wealdstone and Cray Wanderers for the under-21s, although as yet no first-team games have been revealed. Obviously this was published in the morning. We do have the revelation of a first-team game now. But boss Neil Harris was able to confirm he will be taking his side on a foreign trip a couple of weeks before the championship commences again on the 10th of August. He said, the club are in the process of thinking about releasing a pre-season game schedule. I think we're pretty much done with sorting out the fixtures now. Behind the scenes, a lot of plans were in place fixture-wise before I arrived, and I've not disrupted that. Relationships get built over a period of time with other clubs. So a lot of the games in the list have been stuck to. We obviously added in some as well. We will be away towards the end of July in Central Europe for a week of warm weather training where we'll be playing opponents from different leagues and nationalities just to give us a different mix in pre-season. Millwall players are due back at Calmont Road 3 weeks today to begin preparations for another long 46-game championship campaign. Although still currently free to enjoy a well-earned break, the squad have been handed dietary advice to follow to ensure they return to training ready to step up their fitness levels. Harris explained. Nutritionists are really keenly involved off season, and because players' weights can fluctuate through loss of muscle mass as well as gaining body fat by living maybe not such a footballer's life as they would during the season. That side of things can be educational, especially for younger players, and there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. The players get an in-depth magazine that they have to follow containing fitness protocols with a lot of information in there about dieting, and they also have access to the sports scientist 24/7. There you go. I wonder, do they have, I think they still have to tell keep everyone informed of where they are going to be in terms of drug testing and stuff like that. I don't know what it's like. I'm not sure. I don't think it's as intense as it is in other sports like cycling or weightlifting or whatever. But yeah. So there you go. So interesting. So they're not even going to tell us where it is. It's going to be at the end of July, I assume. Now, Central Europe, there are a couple of places that could be, and you see kind of international friendlies be taking place in these areas, and it's either Switzerland, Austria, or Croatia. In fact, this week we've got the under-20s playing in Croatia, so maybe it'll be at that resort. There's like kind of places there that aren't in stadiums; they're in like training centres and stuff. So yeah, we have no idea. Will the games be on Mill TV? Can you watch them? Can you go over there? Probably not. They're doing it at the end of July. I'm assuming, is that going to be so? If it is in Austria, then they would want to get away from the Euros in Germany. They wouldn't want that to kind of be an option where fans who are in Germany for the England games or whatnot for the Euros could come down to Austria. It's also tiresome, isn't it? It's especially so when you find out who our first team our first friendly has been announced against. If I can get my words out, I don't know why I'm not speaking properly all of a sudden. Maybe I'm having a stroke. No, I'm fine. Okay. Was that burnt toast? No, Mill to face Gillingham in pre-season friendly. Yeah, Gillingham. If I gave you two guesses, you would get it, wouldn't you? It's either Dartford, Gillingham, Bromley. Yeah, Gillingham. I don't know, so this is the thing we just heard now. I just read that story for the first time, the one before about Neil Harris. I saw the headline, didn't read the whole way through. But you can see where he said, these were already in place before I got here and we've decided to keep them. Because this is a weird one, because why is this a weird one? Well, Gillingham sacked Neil Harris in quite unceremonious circumstances when they were like fourth in the league in October last year. Is this going to be an annual thing for John Berylson's remembrance thing? Because we played them. This was the first game we played after we heard that the news and stuff and everything that happened. Is this why they're doing it? I don't know. It's annoying. Like, why? This is from millwallfc.co.uk. Millwall to face Gillingham in a pre-season friendly. Millwall to travel to Gillingham for a pre-season friendly on Saturday the 13th of July. Kick-off at 1 p.m. The fixture taking place at Freesfield will see the Lions take on Sky Bet League 2 side as preparations for the 24-25 campaign ramp up. Ticket selling information for the match will be confirmed as soon as possible. The remainder of Mill's pre-season fixture list will be announced on millfc.co.uk in due course. So what's the problem? They seem to have already got it all lined up. So what are they waiting for? Police approval? And what's the deal with Gillingham? We keep playing them. Are we doing them a favour? Are they doing us a favour? Is this part of a deal that we did? Did we not get? Have we got any players off them? Is this the Marlon Romeo? Is this part of that? We have to play them in like 10 friendlies or so. I don't know. It's yeah, it's just kind of boring. And unfortunately, they're in League 2. If they were in League 1, I would be cheering for their promotion so that we wouldn't have to play them again next year. You're not allowed to play against teams in your own league in a pre-season friendly. So, but we'll probably get them next year as well, unless we get relegated and they get promoted. So, yeah, there you go. It's bizarre. I would imagine maybe we're doing them a favour in terms of travelling, because however far southeast we are in the nation as a whole, they're even further southeast. So in terms of travelling to games, who else are they going to get? In terms of league opposition, not really many. Colchester, I don't think they can play them because they're in the same league. So they got Bromley, who are in the league now. They weren't in the league before. So yeah, it's like kind of weird fixture that keeps repeating. That must be happening for reasons that we don't know about, but it's so underwhelming. I'm completely underwhelmed. I'm lost for words. Now, moving on to this. From southernnews.co.uk, Harris wants Millwall to punch above weight again. Obviously, now that Harris is back at work, they're bombarding him. Ring, 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 ring. They want some content. They need to get content for their publications. Southwark News and South London Press. Ring, ring, Neil Harris. Pick up the phone. We know you're back at work. So here we go. Neil Harris is challenging his Millwall side to keep out-punching the Championship big guns next season. Leeds United's playoff final defeat, the losers, to Southampton, means the Lions will twice go head-to-head again with their old rivals in what is always a special fixture. Saints will be joined in the top flight by Leicester City and Ipswich Town as Luton, Sheffield United and Burnley make an instant return to the second tier. Next year will be the Lions' 8th consecutive season in the Championship, and Harris is determined his squad can make their presence felt once again at the right end of the table after last season's relegation scare. 8th consecutive season in the second tier. Is that a record? It might be, is it? Don't know. I'll have to check on that. He said, I think the three teams that have gone up were three exceptional teams. Four if you include Leeds, who just missed out. Leeds will obviously be a very good side next year, as always. I'm sure the three teams that have come down from the Premier League are going to be competitive with their parachute payments, which will make them extremely fortuitous in the budgeting sense. Then you look at teams who've come up as well. Derby County, for example, is a big club at Championship level, let alone in League One, where they've just come out of. Harris added, it's going to be a competitive league as always. I'm sure Norwich and West Brom will be stronger for their playoff defeats this year. We're as always going to have to outpunch with where we're going to be budget-wise as a club. Certainly since I took over 10 years ago, has done that every season, and we'll be playing through that again. This year, I think has been a tough year for everybody, probably until the last 2 weeks of the season, where with 3 games to go, we've retained our status and everyone can relax a little bit. There's always going to be tough periods during the season. Indeed. So, there you go. Now, moving on to this. We're going to finish with this. This is from Pravda, The Victory. This is a Montenegrin newspaper. It's at www.pobjeda.me, and it is the match report translated from Montenegrin into English, not by me, by the computer automatically. It's the match report from today's game between Belgium and Montenegro, which Belgium won 2-0. Why am I bringing you this? Well, you can see it right there. Sarkic performed miracles in Brussels. Belgium celebrated with a goal and a penalty shootout. Well, it wasn't a penalty shootout, it was just penalty, like I said. It's translation. We're lost in translation now. From a special rapporteur from Brussels. Sarkic played. He started. He played all 90 minutes, which was a surprise because he's kind of the third. He looks like he's the third choice keeper, but he had an absolute blinder. So maybe they've seen something in training and they wanted to give him a go, and he's done bloody well for himself. And we're going to have a little read of this. So Montenegro was defeated for the first time under Robert Prosinecki. Remember him, Croatian? But it did well in Belgium, where goalkeeper Matija Sarkic performed miracles. Hallelujah! He defended Sizers, don't know what that is, in the first 45 minutes, and the match was decided by something completely different. Kevin De Bruyne's goal on an empty net after Edwin Kook's mistake, and Leandro Trossard used a penalty kick for the final 2-0. Our players, Montenegrins in this instance, played two different halves. In the first, they were in a completely subordinate position. In the second, more daring. So the impression in the end is relatively favourable. Best said, mixed. In December, he announced that Montenegro would not only defend itself and it would try to impose itself, but from the start it was seen how difficult it would be to do it against one of the pretenders to the European Championship Cup, the super strong national team, although Romelu Lukaku was not in the composition of the Red Devils. Sokoli hardly had the ball in possession in the first half, and even when that was the case, it lasted too short, in most cases less than half a minute. Sokoli being the nickname for the Montenegrin team. The Belgians easily reached the Montenegrin penalty area, and it is fortunate that Matija Sarkic was spectacular on our goal. He was warmed up by Carrasco with a header on the second tripod in the 5th minute, and then the guard of the net, Millwall, had to save the Falcons every now and then. I think that might mean the bar, the woodwork, the guard of the net. I think that's what they call it. In the 7th, Vermeeren placed the ball past the tripod, which was a prelude to Sarkic intervention series. In the 11th, he was focused on not being surprised by Carrasco with a shot on the first tripod. In the 16th, he defended a Zizer to do the same player after Japhet played the wrong return pass. Just a minute later, Stefan Savic's former teammate and Atletico Madrid was close to scoring again. De Bruyne centred, Carrasco kicked from 11 metres. Sarkic was outstanding. The Montenegrin national team was in great trouble. She easily lost balls. I hate when that happens. Was weaker and slower than her rivals, who created a surplus with simple solutions, like the situation from the 22nd minute when Openda came out alone on Sarkic, but he couldn't against the young goalie either. Young is 27. In the 34th, Kamaj made a mistake and opened space for De Bruyne to centre. He found Carrasco, who kicked from 7 metres. Again, Sarkic was in the right place. The Belgian chances were lined up, and our unit defended in the absence of Milan Mijatovic. De Bruyne launched a Openda in the 38th. RB Leipzig striker went straight for Sarkic, but instead of scoring, the 7th defence was seen. It looked like Montenegro would have a great 0-0 at half-time, but it fell by the wayside in the 44th minute with a gross mistake by Edwin Kook, the first of its kind since he has been in the national team. The former Balkani midfielder played poorly. Sarkic intervened in front of Openda, but right at the foot of Kevin De Bruyne, who was all alone, the Manchester City ace routinely shook an empty net from 25 yards. It's here. I'm not going to play it. What happened was this guy here, the yellow 14, white 14, passed it back, but there's a defender there and a goalkeeper there, and he put it between the two of them. So Sarkic's fucking, well, what's going on here? And Sarkic's come out, kicked it, didn't kick it long enough, and he kicks it to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne just took a touch and then put it into the empty net. So there you go. Belgian coach Domenico Tedesco made 6 changes at half-time, leaving De Bruyne on the bench among others, while Prosinecki kept the starting 11. The black hole could have been equalised at the start. Japhet took a free kick from 18 yards in the 51st. Castells kicked the ball into a corner kick, and then Osmajic was in a good position to shake the net with his head. Sarkic continued the show from the first 45 minutes, and phenomenally phenomenally intervened with De Kuyper's shot in the 54th minute, and soon the roads opened up for Montenegro to do something on the offensive. In the 60th minute, Osmajic, after Branovic's dogs stormed past Witsel, I came out on the goalkeeper, but Castell was defending his shot from the right. Those were the moments when Montenegro freed itself from the pressure. It came out high, and the reward could have come through Kristovic, but he set himself up for too long a shot on Vukovic's dog. Don't want to shoot at the dog. Then the reservist, Vladimir Javovic, had an interesting attempt from 18 metres, so Kristovic was blocked again 2 minutes later. It would have been much nicer if only 1-0 remained, but Montenegro had 2 bad lucks in the finish. Milos Brunovic received a second yellow card in the 88th minute, and Bakic stumbled at the end of the match with Doku. The referee awarded a penalty, and Leandro Trossard in the 93rd was precise. Sokoli welcomes Georgia, another Euro participant, on Sunday. It will be the debut of December in front of the home crowd. So there you go. So it sounds like Sarkic had an absolute blinder. Can't see any highlights yet anyway. I'm trying to find them on YouTube. There's a load of fucking dopey channels that are doing like FIFA recreations and stuff. Or they're just doing, what they call it, simulation, where they've got Belgium and Montenegro and they're simulating the result with computer graphics. It's not even the same game. It's not like they've got an AI to copy out and so they can get around it. It's just complete shit, and there's like dozens and dozens of these, and I'm clicking on it. It's like, oh, it's another one of them, and they're doing it for like 300 views here, 500 views there. It's just complete shit. So yeah, I've had to get to popgida.me to get the match report. Sarkic, playing a blinder against the best teams in the world. Well, apart from his kicking when he had to come out of the area, but he's not going to be doing that for Millwall. So if he can do that next season for Millwall, I mean, that will be very, very handy, because if we can keep a lot of clean sheets, then that's going to be good. All we have to do is score then, and we'll win some games. So there you go. Sarkic, outstanding and phenomenal against the Belgians today. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.